People are dying.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976. Allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Nonprofit, educational, or personal use tips the balance in favor of fair use.
The Dark Knight remains one of the most iconic and influential superhero films ever made. And even years after its release, the excitement surrounding it has not faded. Every time the name The Dark Knight comes up, it brings back memories of a film that redefined what a comic book movie could be, a gripping story of chaos, morality, and the thin line between heroism and darkness. Directed by Christopher Nolan, this masterpiece changed the way audiences viewed not just Batman but the entire superhero genre. And as discussions and updates about the legacy of The Dark Knight continue, fans are reminded why this movie remains a cinematic milestone that still resonates deeply across generations. The film stood apart because it wasn't just about a man in a cape fighting crime. It was about choices, ethics, and the human struggle between good and evil. Christian Bale's portrayal of Bruce Wayne brought a layered complexity to the character, showing him as more than a vigilante, a man burdened by responsibility and haunted by the consequences of his own crusade. He wasn't invincible. He was flawed, vulnerable, and constantly questioning whether Gotham truly wanted saving. This grounded portrayal made Batman relatable in a way few superheroes had been before. Bale's performance was intense, emotional, and perfectly balanced between determination and self-doubt. But it was Heath Ledger's Joker who truly became the soul of The Dark Knight. His interpretation of the character went far beyond the expectations of a comic book villain. Ledger's Joker was chaotic, unpredictable, and disturbingly human. He didn't seek money or power, only to prove that anyone, even the noblest, could fall into madness. Every line he delivered, every gesture he made, carried an unsettling realism that made audiences both fascinated and terrified. His performance wasn't just acting, it was transformation. It became one of the most chilling and unforgettable roles in cinema history, earning him a posthumous Academy Award that solidified his place in film legend. The dynamic between Batman and the Joker formed the emotional and philosophical backbone of the movie. The two characters mirrored each other, both outcasts, both driven by trauma, but standing on opposite sides of morality. The Joker wanted to show that Gotham's people were corrupt at their core, that even heroes could be broken. Batman, on the other hand, believed in the potential for good, even in a city consumed by crime and despair. Their conflict wasn't just physical but ideological. Each encounter between them raised questions about justice, morality, and the cost of doing what's right in a world that doesn't reward it. Supporting this core conflict was the character of Harvey Dent, brilliantly portrayed by Aaron Eckhart. His transformation from Gotham's White Knight into the vengeful Two-Face symbolized the central theme of the story, how even the purest soul can be corrupted by pain and loss. Dent's downfall was the turning point of the film, showing that sometimes evil wins not through power, but through the destruction of hope. His tragic arc made the story more human, as it revealed that even those with the best intentions are not immune to the darkness they fight against. Visually, The Dark Knight was a masterpiece of cinematography and realism. Christopher Nolan's choice to use IMAX cameras for key scenes gave the film an epic scale that felt unlike anything seen in superhero films before. The practical effects, the explosive action sequences, and the raw energy of the city created a gritty atmosphere that pulled viewers straight into Gotham streets. The movie avoided over-the-top CGI, relying instead on realism, real explosions, real stunts, and a tangible sense of danger. This approach made every chase, every fight, and every fall feel more visceral and intense. The film's score, composed by Hans Zimmer and James Newton Howard, amplified its tension and emotion to perfection. The haunting notes that accompanied the Joker's appearances felt like the sound of madness creeping into order. The booming, heroic themes for Batman added weight to his internal struggle. Together, the music shaped the movie's identity, an uneasy blend of chaos and control, reflecting the eternal conflict between good and evil. Every moment felt amplified by sound, giving the film an emotional rhythm that never let go. Beyond its technical brilliance, The Dark Knight was also a story about society and the choices people make under pressure. The film constantly forced its characters and its audience to confront uncomfortable truths. The Joker's social experiments, like the ferry scene, forced people to question their own morality. Would you sacrifice others to save yourself, or would you hold on to your humanity even when faced with death? These moments transcended the superhero genre, transforming the film into a philosophical reflection on what defines us as human beings. The success of The Dark Knight went beyond box office numbers. It became a cultural phenomenon. People debated its themes, analyzed its symbolism, and compared it to real-world ideas of justice and chaos. It influenced countless filmmakers and set a new standard for what superhero storytelling could achieve. The film proved that a comic book adaptation could also be a serious work of art, thought-provoking, emotional, and timeless. It changed the expectations of audiences, opening the door for darker, more grounded interpretations of heroes and villains. Even today, discussions about The Dark Knight continue to dominate film circles. Every few years, it's reevaluated, and every time, it still holds up as one of the greatest films ever made, not just in its genre, but in cinema as a whole. Its influence can be seen in nearly every modern superhero movie that tries to balance spectacle with substance. The film's realistic tone, moral depth, and complex characters have inspired an entire generation of storytellers. Christopher Nolan's vision for Gotham was rooted in realism, and his storytelling focused on consequences. Unlike traditional superhero tales, where the hero triumphs cleanly over evil, The Dark Knight showed that victory often comes with sacrifice. Batman's decision to take the blame for Harvey Dent's crimes at the end of the film encapsulated this perfectly. He chose to become the villain in the eyes of the city to preserve its hope, a powerful reminder that true heroism isn't about glory, but about doing what's right, even when no one sees it. That ending solidified the movie's legacy as a story about moral courage and the cost of justice. The film's impact on pop culture remains unmatched. Iconic quotes from the Joker have become part of everyday conversation. His line, "Why so serious?" became a global catchphrase, representing not just his chaotic nature, but the idea that society itself hides madness beneath its order. Every generation since has rediscovered the movie, and each time it feels just as relevant. Its exploration of fear, corruption, and duality mirrors the struggles of the real world, making it timeless in its appeal. The excitement around The Dark Knight continues to resurface as fans speculate about future Batman projects, spin-offs, and tributes to its legacy. Every new Batman film is inevitably compared to Nolan's version, proving how deeply this movie set the benchmark. Many fans still regard Christian Bale's portrayal as the definitive Batman, not because he was the most powerful or high-tech, but because he was the most human. His struggle, pain, and determination felt real, and that emotional connection has made his version of The Dark Knight unforgettable. In the years since its release, the movie has also been honored and analyzed in film schools and retrospectives as an example of near-perfect storytelling. Its structure, pacing, and balance between action and drama have been studied for how to create tension and meaning in blockbuster cinema. The Dark Knight blurred the line between commercial entertainment and artistic cinema, proving that a film could be both thrilling and deeply intellectual at the same time. Another enduring aspect of the movie's legacy is Heath Ledger's performance. Even after so many years, it continues to be celebrated as one of the greatest acting achievements ever. Behind the chaos of the Joker was a masterful portrayal of psychology. A character who embodied the idea that evil doesn't always come from power but from ideology. Ledger's commitment to the role, his physical transformation, and the haunting energy he brought to the screen made his Joker an immortal presence in film history. His tragic passing shortly before the film's release only deepened the emotional impact of his performance, turning it into both a cinematic triumph and a poignant farewell. The Dark Knight's relevance today lies in its honesty. It doesn't present simple answers or perfect heroes. It reminds us that the world is messy, that morality isn't black and white, and that even heroes can be broken. This realism is what gives the film its staying power. It's more than a story about Batman. It's a reflection of humanity itself, showing how chaos and order are constantly in conflict within every society and every individual. Every time fans revisit the movie, they discover new layers, hidden symbolism, subtle performances, and small details that add meaning to the story. The brilliance of Nolan's direction is that the movie never loses its impact, no matter how many times it's watched. It feels alive, relevant, and emotionally charged even today. Its blend of deep philosophy, explosive action, and emotional storytelling continues to captivate audiences around the world. The Dark Knight isn't just a film, it's a legacy. A legacy